In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make $10,000 a month coaching baseball from anywhere in the world without having to work for an MLB organization, giving a huge split of your pay to a facility, or sacrificing the results of your athletes. And this is all made possible utilizing the Grand Slam hybrid marketing system. And so the Grand Slam hybrid marketing system is designed to help you achieve true financial and time freedom. Get amazing results from your athletes and do it anywhere in the entire world. Because to be quite honest with you, the baseball training industry is changing rapidly and everybody is racing to figure out the online training game. Baseball coaches all across the country have turned to putting up a link in their bio and hoping and praying that somebody clicks the link and buys their $25 program. And if you've tried it at all, you probably know this little known secret. It doesn't work. Unless you have a following of over like 150,000 people, your odds of selling something profitably through a link in your bio are incredibly slim. And let's be honest, who's actually going to get serious results from a $25 program? And it's a shame that people are led to believe that they can just sell a $25 program through a link in their bio and just sit Mai Tais on the beach. Wouldn't that be nice? However, the reality of the situation is that if you don't have a huge following or you don't have a huge brand name behind you, you're going to have to be smarter than that. And that's exactly what the Grand Slam hybrid marketing system is designed to do. Because the Grand Slam hybrid marketing system is a brand new way to get remote clients in baseball and get better results than just training athletes in person for less of your time, all while creating more income. And lucky for you, almost nobody out there is doing it. So you have pretty much zero competition if you're watching this video. So if you're a baseball coach and you want to step away from training so many in-person lessons without sacrificing the results of your athletes and sell remote training programs for over $1,000, yes, that is not a typo, over $1,000, then you're going to want to stick around because I'm going to show you how to do just that. And if you don't know who I am, what's up? My name is Nick. Nice to meet you. My name is Nick Neville. I'm the founder of Just Coach. I run an online consulting company that teaches baseball coaches how to achieve time and financial freedom without selling their soul to an organization or facility or sacrificing results of their athletes through online training. You guessed it. And if you're anything like me, then you used to play ball too. And even when I got done playing, I didn't immediately get into lessons like a lot of people do or like work for an organization, become a volley. I would never want to do something like that or even, coach a travel team, right? I took the easy way out. I got a 9-to-5 at a mortgage bank and I hated it. And every day that went by, I felt as if I was wasting my life away. Because to be honest, I felt like I was making somebody else rich for something that I literally had zero passion for. And until one day, everything changed. After countless hours of reading self-help books about mindset and entrepreneurship, I finally found it. My ticket to quitting the corporate world for good. And that ticket was online baseball training. And I started an online baseball training program with one of my old teammates. And to be just blunt, we blew it up. And we went from $0 to $20,000 cash collected in the first month, scaled to over $32,000 in just the first 8 months. Here's a screenshot. This is from May 2023, $32,000. That's cash. That's not revenue. That's not contract value. That's how much money we collected for our training services. In the first 12 months of business, we managed to collect over $250,000 as a couple of kids in their mid-20s, training people online out of a backyard. I know it sounds absolutely crazy, but it's true. And we weren't just making a lot of money. We were getting insane results. Like, why else do you think we trained so many athletes, right? It certainly wasn't because we were bad at what we did. You don't train that many people and make that much money from training if you suck at training, right? Here's a real text conversation from one of my athletes tonight. He says ASU would be pretty lit. He texts me, this is from November 2023. He says, hey, Nick, I'm not going to say his name for his own privacy, from South Dakota. I worked with you this offseason through remote training at blank, the old company. Just want to let you know I got an offer to play at ASU today and wanted to thank you for all your help and for helping me broaden my horizons within baseball. So, like I said, I'll keep his name private, but he's from a small town in South Dakota. But honestly, aren't they all small towns up there? But he's a super hardworking, dedicated, and talented right-handed pitcher. And he told me he wanted to commit to ASU in March 2023. And in November 2023, he received an offer to play there, and he's currently committed to play there right now. A kid like this would have zero access to a dude with my level of experience and knowledge in baseball if it wasn't for online training. I played at 3 Division I schools. Played at University of Notre Dame. I played at San Jac. I played at University of South Carolina. I played at Southern Illinois University, part of the first team to win 40 games in like 50 years. I set a single season school home run record. And you think this kid from South Dakota would have anybody with the level of experience that I had, right? This is not me tooting my own horn. There are people that were much better at baseball than me, that know much more. But how many of them live in his town in South Dakota? 0, right? And that's exactly what I was able to offer him with online training. And he followed the program that we laid out for him to a T. And that's why that's why his results were so insane. He went from mid 80s to low 90s, getting an offer to play Arizona State University out of South Dakota, his dream school. So yeah, we weren't just selling out for money. Although the system was incredibly profitable, I will not lie, okay? The system was so profitable and so effective that, to be honest with you, I knew I would be selfish if I kept it to myself. Baseball coaches need to know how to make money on the internet, right? Because if you're not doing it, you're missing out on a lot of money. So that brings me to the present day, where I help baseball coaches all over the country finally achieve the time and financial freedom that they've wanted so badly, right? And this is all without sacrificing the results of their athletes. And now you're probably sitting there thinking, look, this guy is totally full of it, right? If this is your first time here, you probably think I'm full of it, okay? You can go ahead, go to my Instagram, scroll through my client results. Obviously, my clients get results. I got results. But how do you know that for sure, right? So let's get into it. I get it. I'm probably just some random guy on the internet to you, right? And I know that because that's exactly what I was to my clients before they went all in on the Grand Slam hybrid marketing system. Take Josh Mitchell, for example. Just 8 weeks ago, Josh was working a 9-to-5 job, giving lessons at a facility and still trying to play and make a comeback for baseball, or to baseball. Played in the Kansas City Royals and the Twins organization. You can look him up. He found my page through social media and was incredibly skeptical when he heard these claims that I've made. And 6 weeks later, he made enough money from online training to quit his 9-to-5 job and just do baseball full time. You can see right here, he landed 12 remote clients in like 8 weeks, which is nutty. He no longer had to punch the clock for a paycheck, and Josh isn't the only one it worked for either. Nick Zoris was a door salesman by day, travel baseball coach by night. And like a lot of people who quit baseball and get into sales, he hated his sales job bad, like really bad. So bad that when we started working together, he literally said if he could just make one sale over the internet, he'd quit his 9-to-5 job. Fast forward to today, he's now doing online training full time, coaching the travel team for fun now, not for the money, and just hit his first $10,000 month doing online training, right? You can look him up, Pro Point Catching on Instagram. That's my client, okay? And this is from the other day. This is before he hit it, $1,000 away. And this is with no pro baseball experience, no professional or real coaching experience, besides the 12U travel team, no fancy equipment, just an iPhone, a work ethic, and a drive to impact kids all over the country. And he's just scratching the surface of what's possible. Because to be honest, I've worked with some clients who have huge followings, huge, but they weren't making nearly as much money as they should have been. So my clients, Drew Richard and Ian Jenkins, are prime examples, right? If you're in baseball and if you follow social media, you've probably heard their names. And combined, they probably made a total of 10 to 15 grand in the first 12 months. The previous 12 months from online training before working with me, nothing crazy, but, they just had a link in their bio. And now, keep in mind, between the two of them, they currently have 240,000 followers just on Instagram. So for me, I had never done a month less than 15 grand. Still haven't done a month less than 15 grand in online business. You can check out my Instagram page. You see how many followers I have. It's not 240,000. So if we think about the math, it ain't mathing, right? You could probably look at accounts like that and think that they're raking it in, okay? But why can they not even acquire as many people into the remote training programs with hundreds of thousands of people seeing their stuff as Nick Zoris or even Josh Mitchell? Or I actually just had my boy J. Sahaurita hit me up, say he's made $5 grand this month. He's probably going to make 10K next month because he just cracked ads. And guess what? He's got 300 followers on Instagram. At this point right now, look him up, NST Global on Instagram. That's my client. He made 5K last month. And he's going to make 10 grand next month, right? Or even my program going after a much smaller market with a 10 times smaller following than all these guys, right? What's the answer? They lacked a client acquisition system. Okay, neither of them had a consistent and repeatable way to acquire new remote training clients. And after the first 30 days of each of them working with me, they made a combined of $25,000. $25,000. They nearly doubled the amount of cash they collected over the last 12 months in just 30 days. In just 30 days. Let that sit in. And here's some proof, right? You're probably thinking you're nuts. Sale number 41 since launch, 18,000 collected, 1,500, 2 sales yesterday, 3 PIFs today for $3,600, $2,400 right there. All right, that's at least 10 grand from Ian. That's at least, right? So yes, the system works, but how? How, Nick? Tell me. That's exactly what I'm about to tell you. Fortunately for you, I'm about to tell you exactly what you need to do because I'm tired of seeing people put a link in their bio and think that it's enough to make money online. I see it so often. I see it so often. And to be honest with you, baseball coaches, you deserve more. You deserve more money, more time freedom, more credit. Because in this world, people think that you need to work for a facility. They think you need to work for an organization and work your way up. I was just talking to somebody on a call earlier today. He wants to be a volunteer assistant, making $0 and do his time so one day he can be a head coach. Right? But the head coach only gets to work with 30 guys per year. A remote coach can work with 100 guys, 250 guys like I did in a year, work with way more people, make way more money at a much younger age. I'm 26 years old at this current moment right now, January 30th, 2024. So look, baseball coaches, you deserve more. And so that's exactly what I'm going to teach you how to get today. More money, more time freedom, and more credit, okay? And it really happens in 3 steps, right? Number 1, you got to pick the right targets. Number 2, you got to build your foundations. And number 3, we got to validate your offer. And if you get to step 4, if you got a little bit of balls and you can get to step 4, we can scale. So let's start with picking the right targets. And it starts with understanding your target audience. Or in other words, your ideal avatar. And I know that sounds buzzwordy, so let me break it down for you, okay? Your ideal avatar is your ideal customer, the one person who gets the absolute best results with you. Think back to your best client. What was their name? How old were they? Were they right or left-handed? Did they laugh when you told your dad jokes, or were they stone cold? Right? What kind of dude was this guy, right? Get really definitive on who you want to help. And once you know who you want to help, everything becomes so much easier because we now can create a program that is designed to help them solve all of their biggest problems. Is your ideal avatar struggling to hit the ball in the air, and you're really good at teaching people how to elevate and hopefully celebrate? Congratulations, this is exactly what you're going to help your clients with online. When you're in person, most of your client acquisition comes from word of mouth. You have no real marketing or sales process that you have to follow because anybody can close a referral. Let's be honest, okay? But when you're trying to turn a random stranger on the internet into a paying customer, you must be more specific, especially if you're going to charge the prices that I recommend people do. And if you're working with me or if you listen to me, there is no reason why you can't charge over $1,500 for a remote training program, right? And I'm going to teach you how to do it in this training. But when you're trying to turn a random stranger on the internet into a paying customer, you must be more specific. So how else are you going to get somebody random to trust you unless they can watch your content and think, wow, this person really understands me? Hopefully that's what you're feeling when you're watching this video. And the only way we can make marketing and sales material that speaks directly to their desires, fears, hopes, and dreams is by dialing in on one specific person, okay? One specific person. So if you try to help everybody with everything, like I'm sure you do in your lessons, you're going to get drowned out by all the noise on social media. We can't do that on the internet, okay? So the only way that we can actually stand out from all the noise is by getting incredibly specific on who we want to help and what we want to help them with. Only then can we begin to think about the questions that I'm sure are swirling around your head, like, how do I train people online? How do I create content? What do I even say? Can even toss in, how often am I supposed to communicate with these people? How do I create a program? Look, we'll get to that in due time. But when you're on a trip, if you don't know your goal destination, what makes you think you'll ever get to where you want to go if you don't even know where you want to go? It works the exact same way when you're trying to market your program over the internet. You need to first establish who you want to help and what you want to help them with, and all of your problems will solve themselves. So not only will the marketing become much easier and more clear, but the actual delivery of your program becomes a breeze. You see, you're helping one specific type of athlete with one specific type of problem. Do you think if you focused entirely on helping athletes achieve one specific transformation, it would be easier or harder to replicate results? If you answered easier, congratulations, you have a functioning brain. Picking the right targets can make or break your success in the online training game. So choose wisely. Once you have the proper targets picked, then you can really dive into the Grand Slam hybrid marketing system, okay? Now we can dive into step 2, building the foundations. Think about this step like the base layer of a pyramid, okay? Here's a pyramid. The wider you build the base of the pyramid, the taller the pyramid can grow. Okay, so if you don't build a rock solid foundation for your business to stand on, it'll come crashing down faster than you can build it. And the last thing I want for you is to create a business that doesn't have sustainable growth and success. So what do the foundations even look like? Well, let's dive in. First things first, if you're watching this video, you probably have little to no understanding of what an online training program even looks like. And how do you combat that? The lowest hanging fruit for you to pick is to talk to people that you already know or have already trained and transition them to a hybrid program. Okay, and a hybrid program is essentially where you see the athlete on their regular lesson schedule, and then every other day you have a program for them to follow. And so every single remote training program should follow these 4 components. This is what I teach all of my clients, okay? Number 1, you want learning modules. Number 2, you want a daily program. Number 3, you want a communication cadence. And number 4, you want to build a sense of community. Okay, how do we do that, Nick? Well, you're in luck. I'm literally going to walk you through step by step how to do it. Okay, number 1, learning modules. They're essentially when you take on an overarching concept or idea that you want to teach to your athletes and then provide them with an in-depth understanding of the concept as a whole. So these are paramount to helping the athlete understand the concepts you're trying to teach them even further. And typically with in-person lessons, you'll give your 30-minute to 1-hour lesson to the athlete. Then you won't provide them any more value until they come back and see you again. But with learning modules, you're teaching your athletes how to fish rather than giving them a new fish every week. This is one of my clients' programs that he delivers to his athletes. He is an ex-major league hitting coach. Very well known, very well known. He's an ex-major league hitting coach. He's doing this too. He's 50 years old making remote sales. So if a 50-year-old who used to coach in the major leagues can do this and is willing to do it, then you can do it too. But you might be thinking, if I teach them too much, they'll never come back to me. Isn't that the whole point of coaching, though? To actually help and impact the lives of young athletes, right? If that isn't your goal in this game, then why are you even coaching? Because all the best coaches I've ever been around want their athletes to become their own best coach. Just like that's exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. So I can teach you how to become an online coach so that you never have to rely on me again, right? And that should be your goal too, if you're serious about actually helping athletes, okay? Because then the athletes continue to train with you because of the relationship and value you've provided to them, not because you continue to string them along. Okay, so once you have your learning modules in place, you must provide them with a daily program, right? So the daily program is basically just a routine that your athletes can do every single day or on a specific cadence, right? And this is a program from the app called Trainerize that we had our athletes do in my program, right? You can see here it's laid out, tells you what to do, you know, the equipment required, etc. So they knew exactly what their lift was supposed to be for that day. We did a lot of throwing stuff. So we would have a full throwing routine for them. This is just the lift, right? It had a full throwing routine, right? The drills that they could do, warm up, throwing prep, everything, the whole 9. It gave them everything. We even did nutrition for them. We even did mindset training, okay? But for the purpose of this video, we're only going to do this. We're only going to show you the lifts that we had, okay? But this saves your time because you don't have to constantly message your athletes with the new stuff to do for the day. It's also great for the athlete because now they're on a consistent schedule. And as a coach, you probably know that if every athlete just did something consistently for an extended period of time, the results are pretty much guaranteed at that point. Let's be real. So by providing your athletes with a daily program consisting of drills, exercises, routines, etc., you'll supplement the learning modules with actionable things to do to implement the concepts that you're teaching them. The meat and potatoes of your remote training program consists of learning modules and your daily program. However, no program is complete without a set cadence of communication, okay? Since you'll be transitioning your in-person athletes to a hybrid style of program, it's vital to set a specific cadence in which you will be speaking to your athletes, okay? So what I typically recommend is having one check-in per week with a requirement that they send you updates on their progress. So this is a real picture from a text conversation with one of my athletes. He says, "This is all my coach got, split focus as always." It's definitely getting there. Also thinking my timing with my arm has cleaned up a lot. When this guy came to me, he was throwing 85. He's now up to 96. He's probably going to get drafted this spring. Okay, he used to be a catcher, right? And trained him all online, okay? Still keep in touch with him to this day. And so this could be a swing update if you help hitters, a velo update if you help pitchers, or anything of that nature. You can see there he was sending me videos of his mechanics, right? That way you're continuing to build a relationship with the athlete and they're getting consistent feedback on their progress, so that way they actually know if they're getting better or not, right? Most athletes just need to know if they're moving in the right direction. So give them the support that they need and they'll be loyal to you forever. I still have great relationships with all the athletes that I trained in the past because I actually cared and they could tell, right? And so the icing on the cake is a committed and supportive community. And every time I've been training in the weight room, I've made the most amount of gains when I'm training alongside other people, especially people who are stronger than me, right? And let's be honest, sometimes you just want to know you're not alone in your journey. And so the community will give your athletes a reason to stay, even after they've improved, learned all the concepts, and know how to apply them. So a sense of belonging to something bigger than just yourself is a basic human desire. And if you can create an environment that athletes don't want to leave, you'll accomplish everything you've ever wanted to in your coaching career and more. Okay, so my recommendation is to host your community on the same platform that you host your program on. That could be Trainerize, which is the program I showed you above with the lift. That could be School, which is this program, right? Or a lot of guys use OnForm. A lot of guys use GroupMe. Or you can even use Google Sheets to deliver your program and then text them, put them in a group chat. Or you can use WhatsApp, or you can use Zoom. It doesn't matter. It's all the same, right? However, in my program, I have coaches working together to provide each other with advice, support, and suggestions based on their experience, right? 30 brains is better than one. And when they're all willing to help each other out, something special happens. So those are the 4 components to laying the foundations for your remote training program. And it's so much easier when you can leverage athletes you're already familiar with to help you with the process, right? If you can't transition your in-person athletes to hybrid, that's really not a problem. It just means you'll have to be more creative, right? Simultaneously, you need to start building out your social media presence. Okay, so just like we want to build the foundations of your remote training program, you need to build the foundations of your Instagram. And so the steps will look like this. Number 1, we need to become a profile worth following. Number 2, we need to leverage our pin posts. And number 3, we need to create story highlights, okay? And so you see when most coaches try to market on social media, their profile isn't even worth following, right? It's the same side view mechanics of 30 different swings or throws. There's nothing special about it. What makes me want to follow you? Okay, answer that question. If you've learned anything up until this point, this system is far from average, so that's what we're trying to avoid. We want to become a profile worth following, and it starts with your profile picture, the bio, and the handle, okay? If you don't have any of these 3 things down, then there's literally no point to even make content because nobody is going to follow you or trust you or like you. Right? You'll turn people away from your page rather than pull them in, which is what we want to do. Okay, look at one of my clients right here, Nick, Pro Point Catching. Okay, take Nick's profile, for example. This probably looks way different from yours, okay? Which is why he's grown his following so quickly and why he makes multiple remote sales every single week at $500 for 4 weeks. And then he gets them to pay $1,000 up front for the next 3 months, right? $1,500 in the first 4 weeks of training somebody. And it all starts with the profile, okay? And once you become a profile worth following, it's vital to leverage your pin posts and story highlights, okay? So here are your pin posts, these 3 right here, and here are your story highlights right here, okay? These are absolutely crucial to nail down. Okay, let's refer back to Nick's Instagram. He follows the framework of, on the left, it's his story, right? The Pro Point Catching story. In the middle, he's got his client wins. And on the far right, it's a promotion of his program, okay? And so it's tactical, deliberate, and draws people into his page. And because when you have somebody brand new on your page, you have to give them a reason to stick around. What most people do is pin their most viewed videos, right? And that's great. But most likely, if somebody's on your page, they've probably already seen your most viewed video. Okay, so we need to put in front of them what we want them to see. Okay, which is who you are, number one, who you've helped, and what you want to help them with. That way your audience will know you, like you, and trust you so much faster, which is what somebody needs in order to make a purchasing decision, right? So just above his pin post, you'll see his story highlights. And if you can leverage these are the real killers, okay? Most people post stuff on their story with no real thought. But when you post intentionally and think to yourself, what is somebody in 5 months going to think of this story? You start to think more tactically. You start to see your Instagram as more of an asset that'll pay you back over time. Okay, new people will come onto your page every single day. And when you create story highlights that build trust and credibility with your audience, they become much more likely to convert into paying customers. And that's how you can build your foundations for the Grand Slam hybrid marketing system, right? It may seem complicated and like a lot of work, and that's because it is if you don't know what you're doing, okay? So if you had a step-by-step process that's proven to work by others, it would be incredibly easy for you to follow, which is exactly what we do in my program, right? After you build your foundations, it's time to move on to step 3, which is validating your offer. And this is honestly the fun part. This is my favorite part, right? Now that you have the baseline of your remote training program, your Instagram is dialed in, it's time to start really blasting out content and getting new people in the door. But not just any content, intentional content, right? Content that gets attention and makes people want to take action, okay? Most people are under the impression that they need to copy the biggest baseball content creators, and all of a sudden they'll have remote sales, right? What those people don't know is that your favorite content creators are making no money from online training until they join my program, of course, right? I've seen it time and time again, and it's even something that content creators themselves struggle with when trying to actually make sales. There is a difference between content that is entertaining and content that converts. I'm going to say that again. There is a difference between content that is entertaining and content that converts. If you can make content that gets attention from the right people, refer back to picking the right targets, the beginning of this video, right? And converts that attention into money, you will literally feed your family and buy your next house/car from social media. I absolutely guarantee it. I absolutely guarantee it. So with that in mind, you're probably thinking, Nick, what types of content convert? Write this down. Value posts, client wins, belief shifting content. That's it if you're trying to convert. Okay, and every piece of content should follow one specific framework. Most people just don't know how to do it. So here it is for free. Number 1, hook. We need to grab their attention, right? We need to do something different to grab their attention and cut through the noise on social media. Number 2, value. Give them what they came for. Show them that you can actually help them. Make it worth their while. Number 3, call to action. Tell them what to do with this new information, right? You could say, hey, click this link, or you could say, try this out in your next practice. It doesn't have to always be selling them. Sometimes you can just help. That's it. The substance of the content is the most important part. But if you cannot provide value to your audience, they will never pay you. And that's a fact. Think about everything you've bought in the past. How often did you buy something from somebody who hadn't already delivered you value for free? Right? Probably not very often. So that's what we're going to do in our content. One of the most common questions you get as a coach, answer them in your content. Client wins are self-explanatory. Show your audience that you can actually help and help people like them. Because everybody is going to ask, but will this work for me? Okay? Refer back to the beginning of this video. I showed you real examples of clients that I've worked with to achieve what you probably want to achieve if you're still watching this video, right? So you're much more likely to see me as an authority figure in the space and will take what I say seriously, right? So we need to demonstrate this one thing. I've done what you want to do and helped others get there. And once we've proven that we have valuable information and that we actually have helped others with the information we provide, it's time to shift the beliefs of your audience. And I don't mean, I'm going to put a ton of emphasis on this, I don't mean manipulating your audience to do something that isn't in their best interest, okay? Because that is slimy. Slimy. What I do mean is to break the limiting beliefs of your audience, right? You probably had no clue that it was possible to make $10,000 a month from online training. You're probably still skeptical, right? Because you've never seen it happen. You've never done it. So you're probably like, I don't know if this actually works, right? You don't know if you can trust me, which I understand. But here I am showing you multiple examples of people that have done it. Okay, I'm breaking the beliefs you hold that online training isn't possible, that you need a huge following, that you need to charge $25 for a program, because none of that is true. They're just beliefs that you're speaking over yourself that are not true, right? Because if they were true, then people wouldn't be out in the field proving those things wrong. So now you're seeing the world more the way that I see the world. And in a very real way, I'm providing you a ton of value by showing you that there's a different and better way to do business. Okay, you need to do the exact same thing in your content, right? Provide value, show your audience that you are an authority figure, and then guide them to a better way of thinking. And when you do all three of those things, when you tell your audience to do something, they are much more likely to take you seriously and take action. And if you make content that does most of the work for you, then signing people into your program is the easy part. It's the fun part. You just talk to the client, figure out if you can actually help them. And because you've already established a remote training program and you're delivering so much value to your athletes, you can have crazy conviction when you're selling your program, right? So you know that you're delivering crazy amounts of value to your athletes and completely changing their careers, but not only their careers, but their lives. And that is powerful. That is how you sell remote training. You build a program that churns out insane results and you market it in an effective and efficient way. So those are the 3 steps. And that's exactly what you need to do to achieve financial and time freedom while coaching baseball. And if you implement these 3 steps correctly, then over a long enough time horizon, you will be successful. I absolutely can guarantee that. However, if you want a shortcut to success, if you want the blueprint laid out for you, if you want to know how to actually apply this, then what I want you to do, if that is you, is go ahead and book a call with me. The link will be in the description of this video down below. We'll walk through your goals, what your current situation is, and if you're the right fit, we can get started right away on the call. As a reminder, this is only for baseball coaches who want to make more money for less of your time while getting insane results from your athletes and keeping the entire pie for yourself, right? So if that's not you and you don't want to achieve new heights in every aspect of your coaching and training business, then you're probably not a great fit for my program. Look, I am looking for action takers, for people who want to bet on themselves, who are willing to go out there and do the work that's required. Right? I'm looking for hunters because, to be honest, this stuff takes work. It's not passive. It's not super easy. And it's certainly not for everybody, right? But if success was easy, then everybody would do it. However, the blueprint is there, and I just gave you the blueprint for free right now in this video. Okay, so you can try to take this information that I just gave you for free. You can try and implement it yourself, see how it goes, and you may have more success than you could ever imagine. Seriously, I just told you what exactly you need to do, okay? But if you want help implementing the Grand Slam hybrid marketing system, and you want to learn how it can apply specifically to you and your business, then you can go ahead, book in a call with me through the link directly below, because I work with coaches every single day, helping them achieve goals that they never thought imaginable, right? You might have been skeptical about my program or what I'm saying or the results that I'm delivering. You can't believe that these guys are doing what they're doing, but my program is designed to give you every piece of information, resource, or support that you need to guarantee your success. And it is the path to generating new remote clients that are willing to pay you a high price point, all while getting the best results you've ever got, okay? And so this is kind of a look into my program right here. This is the community of it. This is the wins channel right here. Brock made his first sale, closed a hybrid guy for $325 for only 4 in-person sessions. Nick Zoris, sale number 45. Split pay, sale number 47. Obviously, this isn't in order right here. Matt Ross made his first sale of 2024. Shout out, Matt. Right? Omar actually just hit his first 10K month this month. Shout out, Omar. So did Nick. Who else? JC. He made 5K this month. At the time, he only had 240 followers. He's going to make 10K next month. Scott is, an absolute stud. I think he's probably going to make $100,000 this year doing remote training minimum. We'll see. I'll keep you updated on that. Tim has made 3 hybrid sales in the last 2 weeks. You can see right here, Zoris, $1,000 paid in full. Tim with all 3 of his hybrids, right? Omar with another sale. Cam Corsi, sale number 1 and 2, made $2K in the first week of the program. Zoris with another 12-week. Andy Barquette, clients 2 and 3, right? And these are all just in the last 2 weeks. JC, $650 paid in full. Andy with a sale. Nick Zoris with a couple sales. He's absolutely crushing it, right? But that's kind of the results of my program. That's how you know that I'm not actually like just some random idiot saying, hey, I get guys results, right? And this is all just from the last 2 weeks. Okay, that is all just from the last 2 weeks. So here's a little bit more information about my program, kind of what it looks like. So kind of what you're going to do is you're going to jump in here. You're going to watch the welcome video, right? And it'll kind of walk you through exactly what you need to do. You can see right here, picking the right targets shows you exactly how to do that. And when you're going through the modules, I have tools, right? So a lot of people will ask me, Nick, how do I set up my Calendly? How do I take payments? How do I create a program? How do I edit videos? How do I create graphics? How do I track everything? How do I get approved for a firm so that way people can pay me in full and they pay monthly payments and I can get paid in full to go use that to invest in my business? I cover all that in this program right here in the tools section, right? And you can see right here, building your foundations, teach you how to optimize your profile, teach you how to build out your remote training program, you know, what you need to say on your pin posts, your story highlights, your pillar videos, you know, exactly like the framework to make every single one of your reels, things like that. And then finally, the last section, validating your offer, Instagram feed mastery, the story mastery, how to actually use them, the power of YouTube. People don't use YouTube nearly enough. How to have endless content ideas, how to make Calendly basically an application to get people to beg to work with you, the Instagram DM mastery, how to actually book calls through IG DMs, how to sell on sales calls, how to actually collect payment, because if you don't collect payment, then you don't really have a business, right? And then how to actually continue to build your program for random strangers, and then how to know you're ready to move on to the next section. In here is a little bit of a deep dive in terms of the resources that I give people. So like I like to say, I like that better over here. I like to say that my program is so easy that a dog could follow it. So this is the first section of my program where you literally come in here and it gives you a checklist. Have you watched a welcome video? Have you posted an introduction? Have you completed the ideal avatar? Have you created your offer? Do you know what your 3 pillars are? Do you know who your enemies are and how to throw rocks at them? Have you created, right? And so these are all associated to a training, and there are action steps for every single one of the trainings, right? As you can see right here, there's an overview of every single one of the chapters, right? And then beneath, there'll be action steps for every single one of these, right? So you can see right here, action steps, what to do. So I walk you through step by step, and then I have the checklist, and then I have the worksheet that'll show you, that'll give you prompts of how to create, you know, whatever it is that you want to do for your remote training program, how to conceptualize through it. And then at the end of every single section, I have a feedback form, right? That I have requirements for you to fill out in order for you to move on to the next part of the program. Because if you're not ready to move on to the next part of the program, there's no point of me pushing you through, because then you wouldn't actually get results, right? So I want to make sure that you're actually getting results, and I'm pretty much guaranteeing that you're going to get results with all these action steps, right? If you're doing these things, then you're going to be able to generate 10 sales calls a month. You're going to make 10 sales in your remote training program. You know, in the first 3 to 6 months, you're going to be able to make YouTube videos that convert people into customers, right? I even give you tracking sheets. So here's how you can track all of your active athletes, right? If they're delinquent, if they're active, if they're inactive, you know, when their first pay date is, et cetera, right? You can see here, you can track everything, and I give it for you. It's already pre-made, okay? Same thing with your sales pipeline right here. You can see I put myself in the sales pipeline, easiest paid in full ever. I'm the easiest prospect ever. If what you're selling makes sense, I'm going to pay you in full. I'm going to do it quick. I actually just paid a mentor, you know, multiple 4 figures, basically 5 figures, to join his program to teach me how to continue to scale my business. So I'm constantly learning. So pro tip, become the prospect that you want to attract. I wanted to attract people who really want to work with me and take action. So what did I do? I took action, and I'm going to get help to continue to grow my business as well. Okay, so here is the sales pipeline tracker. Also have a tracker here to help you track your follower count, how many DMs you're sending, how many book calls you have. So that way you can actually, like, by the numbers, see how you're doing. If you're getting, you know, 100 new followers a month, you should be booking in 10% of those and closing at least 3%, right? So you should be, if you're getting 100 followers, making 3 sales. If you're not, there's something wrong with the process. And that's how we can reverse engineer it. That's how I know how this actually works, okay? It is a system that when you put X amount in, you get Y amount out. It is a formula, it is an equation, and I have it right here, and I have ways for you to track it. So with the pathway literally laid out for you, if this is something that you actually want to do, then you're going to save so much time, effort, and frustration trying to figure it out on your own. And that's just like the real, right? I've laid out the pathway for you. I've put thousands of hours and dollars, not only into developing this specific program, but in my education to continue to give you the best product you can possibly get. Because at the end of the day, my client results are my best marketing tool. So if I want to grow my business, all that matters is that my clients get great results. And so I will do everything in my power in order to help you get results if you're actually willing to put in the work, if you're serious. If you're serious, then book in a call right now. We'll get started right away. Like you can be making 10 G's a month in 3 months or less, right? Because if this is something that you want to do, then you need to do it now, because the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Okay, the law of diminishing intent states that the longer you wait to take action, the less likely you will be to take it. Okay, start today. Whether it's with me or you try it on your own, start today. Today. You literally cannot afford to wait another day. Okay, there is no right or perfect time. The most successful people make it the right time. They make the timing perfect. The best hitters in the game don't need to be perfectly on time to get hits. Do not wait for the perfect pitch, the perfect timing, the perfect whatever. There is no such thing as the perfect time. The time is now, okay? The only reason why you don't want to move forward is because you're afraid. It's because you're scared, and I get it. I've been there, okay? But every time that I've taken a leap and bet on myself, it's paid off, and I promise you that it'll do the exact same thing for you. Okay, and some of you know what you need to do. You just need somebody to help you, to hold you accountable, right? A coach to coach you through it. And you will not find another business coach who can show you the path in this much knowledge in your specific industry, right? Go to another business coach and they'll give you general advice that's applicable to all businesses, right? The problem is that each industry has its own nuances, which you're likely already aware of. If you're an athletic director, would you hire a coach who played football to coach the baseball team? Probably not. You'd get a coach who played baseball, right? Why would you ever hire somebody without specific knowledge to your problem? So look, if you made it this far, you're probably a coach who's actually trying to get help. You believe in the power of coaching. You believe in getting guidance to where you want to get to. You're the type of dude I want to work with. You also understand that I can't guarantee that just because you sign up into my program, you'll get results. Because at the end of the day, your results are entirely up to you. But if I could help you sidestep all of the mistakes that you don't even know are coming your way, to speed up the process, to create more time and financial freedom while coaching baseball and getting better results from your athletes than you ever thought imaginable, what would that do for you? Would your life be materially different? If you can answer yes to that question, then go ahead, book in a call with me down below. Don't wait. Take the leap to invest in yourself. You won't regret it. So I hope you got a ton of value out of this video. If you are a baseball coach and you're looking to achieve time and financial freedom, make money coaching baseball from anywhere in the world without having to work for an MLB organization, without having to give a split to the facility, or without sacrificing the results from your athletes, getting better results than you've ever gotten, then what I want you to do is go ahead, book in a call with me. If you're the right fit, we can go ahead and get started right away. Look, this is only if you're actually serious about getting this done. I want to work with action takers. So if you're ready to go, then go ahead, book in that call. We can get started, right? If you need to think about it more, DM me on Instagram. Ask me a couple questions, okay? But at the end of the day, this video has given you all the information that you need in order to make a bet on yourself, okay? So whether you work with me or you try and figure it out on your own, if you need to do online training, the one thing you need to take away from this video is that you need to start today. If you want help, then I'm here for it. Okay, so I hope you got a ton of value out of this video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.